Hi everyone, it's Helen here from Bodywork-Pilates. So we did some standing balance in our class this morning, as we very regularly do. And one of my ladies asked if I could put together a little video with just a couple of balance exercises in it, because she recognised that although her balance is a little come and go, it was still a lot better than the people around her who don't do Pilates. Now she's 79 and you know it falls into that category now of being an older adult, and she's very conscious that she wants to remain upright and stable and strong for as long as possible, but she is seeing people around her that don't do regular balance work losing their balance, falling, you know, and that's not something any of us want. So this video is just a little video purely to challenge your balance. Now, what I always say about balance is it's great if you can stand absolutely stock still, steady as a rock, that's fine. But really what we want to do is we want to create a reaction to imbalance. So we want your body to react to being off balance, so that moment when you step over a wobbly paving stone, or you step on a cobble, or whatever it might be, misjudge a step. When your body recognises that you're off centre, you're out of kilter, and it immediately does what it can automatically to try and keep you upright. That's what we're trying to do. We're trying to create better reaction times. So balance is really, for me, more about recognising your wobbles than being absolutely stock still. So just a couple of little things. Now what I would say is, if you know your balance is a little bit off, you might want to get a chair or be next to a counter surface or a wall, just so that you've got a fingertip touch. You don't have to hold on to anything, but just that little touch against a wall or against a counter or the back of a chair is enough to send the message to your brain to tell you that there's something there and that you're safer. Okay, so if you need to move against something that's going to be nice and stable. All right, take your feet just about hip distance apart. Now you might have a natural turnout and you might be absolutely parallel. I'm going to leave that up to you, but just try and find the centre of balance. I say to just find your centre of balance where you feel like you've got the weight spread fairly evenly around the feet. Open the chest, let the hands just rest if you're not using anything to hold or touch. The chin slightly draws in, so you get this feeling of really lengthening up. And then all I'm going to ask you to do is to move your weight slightly forward so you can feel the weight moving to the front of the foot, and then allow the heels to lift, squeezing lightly into the calf muscles. And then with control, so slowly bringing it back down and bringing the weight back to centre. Don't rock heavily backwards, just come back to centre. Okay? So again, all you're doing is just moving forward at the ankle, feel the weight transfer to the front edge of the leg. Notice that your thighs might start to tense up a little bit, and then lift those heels, squeeze the calf muscles, and then with control, bring it back down again. Let the heels come back to the floor, bring yourself back to the upright. So that's all you're going to do, and again you can do this facing a chair if you felt you need just the fingertip touch on the back of your chair or against your counter surface. Now just keep that going. What I'd like you to do is just notice that when you come up, do you feel you keep the weight on the ball of the big toe and the ball of the little toe, or when you come up, do you feel like your ankles bow outwards, and does the weight go heavily into the outer edge, into the little toe edge? Okay, I'd like you to try and keep the weight more evenly placed. So now if that means that you don't lift your heels quite so high, then that's fine. Okay, let's just do that one more time. And then bring it back down. Good. Okay, from there, just give the legs a little shake out. Okay, so the next exercise we're going to do is simply just to come into an alternate knee lift. Now, think about this. Although it's an exaggerated thing, we don't walk like this, do we? We don't walk like that. But it is important that we're able to lift the foot sufficiently when we walk that we don't scuff our foot, we don't trip over rugs, edges of curbs, that kind of thing. And what I see a lot with my older clients is that they start to lose the confidence to walk properly and upright. They become a little bit smaller and they shift their weight and they shuffle with small steps, barely lifting their feet at all. That's not going to do anybody any favours. So we need to remain confident and strong enough to be able to lift the leg up as if we're trying to step over a wall. All right, so that's all you're going to do. So bring yourself to your centre, and then keeping that nice sense of strength around the hips. And it's almost like you want to feel like you're almost cling filming all around your bum and your hips. Okay, and all you're going to do, without sinking outwards, stay tall, peel one foot from the floor and lift that knee up, catch a moment of balance, and then bring it down. Put the foot down, bring the weight to centre, and change sides. Now again, you can use your counter surfaces. Keep that hip from pressing outwards. Allow yourself to bring the leg up slowly. And then with the same control, put the foot back down. So we're not rushing anything. We're keeping it nice and easy. And we're just being really aware. So notice when you lift that leg, how the other foot might move slightly. You'll feel movement underneath the foot, around the ankle. Maybe you'll feel some tensioning in the muscle of that standing leg. And don't worry if you can't get the leg right up to parallel. That doesn't matter, but we want to get into the habit of maintaining the ability to work into our hip to lift the leg up and then put it back down again, so that we know if we needed to, we could lift the leg and step over something, we could lift the leg and step onto something. So that's what we're looking for, and we can do that lift without feeling ourselves falling over. And we're really working those muscles in the outer edge of the hip. So they're the muscles that stop you from getting all like this when you walk. So those muscles that wrap around the outer edge of the hip and the outer edge of your glutes, working here just to help stabilise. And then bring it back to centre. Okay, and again, give the legs a little shake out. So our next exercise is an exercise that we do a lot, and you may have seen me do this before on other videos, but it's what we call tandem stance. So ordinarily we stand with a sort of a hip distance-ish position. Okay, I'm going to ask you to stand as if you were on a tightrope. Now you might definitely need to use a fingertip touch against something, but imagine you've got a line drawn on the floor, and if you've got the edge of a rug or a mat, or maybe planks, maybe you've got planks, I can't remember what it's called, planks, wood planks on the floor. All right, then you're going to place the outside edge of one foot right up against the edge of whatever it is you're using, and then you're going to take the inside edge of the other foot right in front of it, so that you don't have your heels turned out, okay? It is one foot directly behind the other in a perfectly straight line, okay? And you squeeze your inner thighs together and you'll stand nice and tall, and you'll try, if you can, to put the same amount of weight in both feet, although that's not that easy, really. And then just see how that feels, because it might feel like you're on a tightrope, because that's exactly what you're doing. So you're standing on a really narrow edge, and you'll probably feel your feet wobbling in and out, but then notice how that happens automatically. So you're not trying to wobble, but your body is trying to balance you. So if you go off to the side, that'll be an automatic bringing yourself back to centre. So don't make your corrections massive, otherwise you'll just fling yourself off to the other side. So just try and keep it as still as you can, breathe smoothly, don't try and get tense, and see how that feels. Now, if you're really, really good at that, and that feels like it's a doddle, then just perhaps try turning the head. Ooh. And then to the other side. And see what a difference it makes when you simply move your gaze. Now, you may be feeling a little tension in the back calf, maybe in the outside edge of the hip, on that back leg, and that's normal. That's okay, that's normal. But don't overdo it, so perhaps give that a little shake out, and then change sides. So again, the outside edge of the foot against your mat, your edge, whatever it might be, the other foot forward, the inside edge of the forward foot, and you'll have a wobbly side and you'll have a wobblier side. But again, just notice that your heels aren't skewed out. Okay, you do have it in that perfect line because that's what the challenge is. The inner thighs will squeeze together again. You'll stand nice and tall. You'll probably find that you're automatically slightly engaging those abdominals because that's part of your stability structure. And then again, notice the little bit of movement around the feet. There'll be a little bit of wobbling perhaps. And if it feels really easy and you think you've cracked that one, then again, just try turning the head. Don't whisk the head around. Keep it nice and smooth. Just noticing if that makes any difference to your balance. And it probably will, because as we move the gaze, we have to seek out those immobile points that we latch onto that really help our balance. And again, you may be feeling it in the calf, maybe into the outside edge of the back hip, and then bring it back to center and shake it out. So as I say, just a few little bits there for you to just practice with, practice safely. If you need any pointers or if you need any advice, if you want anything more, then just let me know. But if you think your balance is a little bit wobbly, then try those and see if that helps. If nothing else, it may make you feel just a little bit more confident about being wobbly. I'll speak to you soon.